And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to Gem into Crypto, episode 591. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2020, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10ish. And today's top stories, while there are not many, Dave Portnoy has now taken a 180 on crypto and begun shilling altcoins. Senate says jailed Russian spy bonded with Overstock CEO over Bitcoin, hoping to get to Rand Paul. Game show winner loses 39,000 in Bitcoin. Facebook scam. And last but not least, Binance and Ukraine capture cyber criminals laundering $42 million in money. But first and foremost, of course, is go ahead and take a look at these prices. Red day today. I mean, it's kind of expected. I thought we would actually have a red day like this way before today, since the price has been pumping the way it's been pumping. But Bitcoin's coming in at $11,986, down 3%. Ethereum at $422.95, down 3.89%. Ripple at 30 cents, down 5.25%. Chainlink at $16.17 is down 0.15%. So again, for the traditional market, this would make them their heads literally explode if something goes down 14% in one day, right? But we've seen it quietly creep up from $1 and some change all the way up until almost $20 yesterday, $19 and some change. And it's already being reported that it's had a 1,000% increase since the March date when it went to its lowest in the year. So again, this 14% pullback for that makes sense. You're still doing very good on Chainlink. Stellar is at 10 cents. Bcash is at $306, down 4.59%. And Litecoin is at $66. Actually, one of the only ones in green today, up 1.23%. So again, bloody market today is all red, to be expected. The real question I'm interested in, and what's been kind of popping up in the media source, I saw an article today on Cointelegraph. I think I saw something on CoinDesk. But the question was, is the top for this bull run already in? Have we already peaked out, and will we be seeing a drop? And the reason why that's being already talked about is because people were talking about Chainlink, saying they got their parents and their grandparents' investment funds to put in there. People are mortgaging their house. And this next guy we're about to talk about, Dave Portnoy, I don't know if it's Portnoy or Portney. I mean, he's been a big part of the shill fest as well, and why the top may already be in. We'll be talking about that in a second. What's going on? Tony Nolly, Will 45, Antonio, PFC Wells, what's going on? Trek, Tommy Brown, hello. Top story of the day, again, Dave Portnoy has taken a 180 on crypto and began shilling altcoins. And the caption reads, have the Winklevoss twins created a monster? That is right. Following his recent educational foray into the world of blockchain, Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy now appears to be promoting crypto pump and dump schemes by shilling low cap altcoins. We've seen this before, haven't we? McAfee posting a number of videos on Twitter. Portnoy stated that he found a new altcoin that I'm interested in, but wouldn't disclose which crypto it was yet. He reasoned he didn't want people to buy it before he did. He later tweeted, some different altcoin names. He mentioned altcoin Orchid, and then he also expressed an interest in crypto pump and dumps, noting it's encouraged and can be done all day long. So he basically already came out and told people that, hey, he's down for this crypto pump and dump game. And then again, he just recently met, as you see here, with Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss from the Gemini Exchange, where they basically taught him what Bitcoin was, how to buy it, X, Y, and Z. So again, you can see this article here from August 4th, where Robinhood influencer wants the Winklevoss twins to explain Bitcoin to him. So literally, Dave Portnoy, also being known as Davey Day Trader, has, in less than a month, learned how to buy Bitcoin, right? So it looks like in 1 month he's learned to buy Bitcoin, not even a month. In 2 weeks he's learned to buy Bitcoin, and now he's already shilling to you his favorite coin. So when you do see stuff like this, you see people shilling, you see people pumping, dumping, and happy about pump and dump. I mean, you can see here the first comment on Twitter is Ponzi scheme, gold and silver better. People shilling their favorite coins on here. Someone else, oh Lord. Let's see. All types of. Dave's going to be so deep in crypto in 6 months. Can't wait. But again, this is from somebody who just started in crypto 2 weeks ago. Another person, LOL or whatever. I saw another funny comment. Update your bio and to add, don't trust anything I say about stocks or crypto. It was some funny ones on here. But basically, yeah, Jesus, dude, full degeneration mode. Exactly. There's a lot of funny comments on here about people laughing at Dave's picks. Now, people, again, this person just asked about crypto on August 4th and it's August 18th and he's shilling coins. The top might be in. This is what some of those articles are talking about today. And if this is happening already from Barstool sports founders, from people who are already multimillionaires, who already have that big following on Twitter and some of these other places, then I mean, you can only expect that to increase. No one's going to turn down that free bag of money. We saw that in 2017. We saw that when Maccabee was shilling coins. Not just him, a lot of other people. So I expect this to continue. But again, this is kind of a hesitant to buy in right now. Are we at the top right now for the short-term top? Have we already reached it? Have people like Dave and their shilling already sold up the next big level that Bitcoin can take? We'll figure it out. What's going on, Sergeant Crypto? Sergeant Crypto said whatever his name is, it doesn't matter. He's promoting Pump and Dumps live on Twitter. That's right. Khalil, what's going on? Tiffany from New York. Hello. And again, that's Dave from Barstool Sports. Stool Presidente. I'm interested to see how many Twitter followers he has. 1.7 million followers. There you go, people. So he's literally tweeting out terrible coins to 1.7 million people getting in on those pump and dumps. You have to better guarantee that people are going to lose money on these pump and dumps. And these are going to be the same people who would have been in the market or would have stayed in the market here in the short term that are probably going to get out the market. So it's hard to say what this is actually doing to the market, what it's doing to the price, and the effects it's going to have in the next 3 or 4 weeks once people finally realize they should probably stop listening to them. But already just scrolling down, I mean, you see this one pick here, DDTG. Let's see. Oh, I hope that's his Davey Day Trader. But if you scroll down, you see some of his other picks. You see some other things he's talking about, his other trading stuff. So, again, somebody with a big following promoting new coins. We'll see what happens with that issue. Will45 said Deion Sanders going to Barstool. I think I saw that. Yeah, Deion Sanders is getting rid of his show on NFL Network. PFC Will said just like J.K. Rowling, everyone got agendas. Hilarious. All right, next top story. Senate says jailed Russian spy bonded with Overstock CEO over Bitcoin, hoping to get to Rand Paul. Now, this is a very interesting story because not only do I get to put on my cryptocurrency professional hat, I also get to put on my performance coaching professional hat for this one because this is a pretty funny story. I mean, it's one of the oldest stories in the history of mankind. Boy meets girl, he falls in love. He does some things that aren't the brightest, right? Girl gets in trouble, points finger at boy, who knows, right? But if you don't remember this relationship, this is a relationship with Overstock's CEOs or ex-CEO Patrick Byrne. Of course, he got into it with this Russian woman who the United States said was actually a spy, and they hemmed her up and arrested her while he resigned from his company in protest, right? But it looks like new details of what's being called the salacious Butina Byrne romance that led the Overstock CEO to resign emerged in the latest volume of the Senate Russia investigation. On August 18th, the Senate Intelligence Committee released Volume 5. They out here releasing mixtapes on your ass in your relationship, okay? They released Volume 5. I'm talking about Smack DVD, all that. We out here, okay? Of its investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election. The new version found that former CEO of Overstock.com and noted crypto advocate Patrick Byrne was a patsy to plans by Maria Butina, who is currently serving time for espionage on behalf of Russia. Now, it looks like the romance between Butina and Byrne was the reason why Byrne gave up his departure from Overstock. We talked about that when that actually happened because we know Overstock CEO has been an advocate of Bitcoin, for forever, right? He had it on his platform while he was still the CEO. He was a huge advocate of it. It looks like per one email from Paul Erickson, quoted in a report, Byrne was a lifelong bachelor who had become fascinated with Butina and indeed wanted her to have a child with him. It's quoted as saying, since meeting Maria, he has found ever more creative ways to pitch a standing $1 million offer to her to have a baby with him. He is utterly enamored of her imagined gene stock and believes that a baby would cement not only his familial line, but also relations between our two nations. Now, the relations between the two nations, I'm with that, because that's that old school, not just marrying because of love, but we're trying to marry to prevent this war from starting. All right, I'm all about that. If you know me, I'm all about history, a lot of traditional ways of doing things, and I still believe in that. Sometimes, hey, you gotta have a mixed girl marry the Prince of England, right? So to make that race relation go away for the next 50 or 60 years, to make it get better, right? But what I will say is, what's pretty interesting to me, and here's what I'm putting on my coaching hat, is that a person has figured out how to become a multimillionaire or a billionaire from their company, Overstock.com, and Patrick Byrne here. And I am sure there is no small business out there or any business out there that will just come up to Overstock and be like, I know you feel so good about my business. Will you please just give me $1 million so we can get the ball rolling on this? He is not going to do that. No company will do that, right? But it's crazy to me that these same people who wouldn't do that for business would do that for a relationship. I get it, people. I love it that you all believe in this love thing so much. But it's just interesting because he's making a financial and a business decision. While it might not be a lot for him, he's still making that decision based on his emotion when he's not making those same decisions in his 9-to-5 work life. So I always thought that was pretty interesting. And right now it's pretty interesting to me again hearing this report. But and here's what's even crazier about it. Now this guy, you remember, he's ready to give her $1 million to have a baby by her. Let's not even get into how creepy that kind of is as well. I know everybody likes to throw the jokes at Trump and Biden or whatever, rightfully so, right? But to me, this is just as creepy. Like, maybe he's just not grabbing her or being weird and smelling her hair or whatever, but he's still being like, yo, I got this $1 million, you trying to get wiped up? Still kind of weird and old school. But what I wanted to comment on that is you got this one guy who's supposed to be this great business mind. He knows about crypto. He has Overstock.com. He's the CEO of that company, X, Y, and Z, so many accolades and awards, right? He's willing to offer this chick $1 million for a baby, and it comes out that she actually wasn't even after him. She was there to go after the presidential candidate, Senator Rand Paul. If that's not how the game go, people, I don't know what it is. All right. It says here, Butina did not convey her interest in Byrne at Freedom Fest to the committee, noting that someone was talking about Bitcoin and there were some fresh ideas I wanted to discover, but not mentioning Byrne. Hey man, you said something about Bitcoin, she got interested, all right? It seems that Byrne was not the primary target, the report reads, and this is in the Senate Intelligence Report. They got the Overstock CEO and the Senate Intelligence Report out here on the Senate floor, reading to all of America and all our allies. We are here talking about how the Overstock CEO told some chick he'd give her $1 million to have her baby. She ended up being a Russian spy to the Senate, of course, the United States Intelligence Committee. And the committee is quoted as saying the committee assesses that both Erickson and Butina viewed Byrne, at least initially, as a vector to yet another Republican presidential candidate, Senator Rand Paul. So you weren't even a man in the room she was coming to get. And since then, you have lost your position as the Overstock CEO. I mean, as much as we still love you in the crypto community, it's tough to help us from the other side of the fence. And of course, your girl, she's in prison. So this is crazy. I actually want to hear from the Overstock CEO's mouth. We still haven't really heard him go into detail about what happened. So I would love to hear from him. I would love for this person to stand up for themselves and say what's true and what's not true. But this is a pretty funny story. I mean, again, this is a story as old as the test of time. Boy meets girl, he falls in love. And the chick is like, oh, I wasn't even here for you. I heard there was some presidents in the room right now. Would you got a company? Oh, I got people with companies back at home. You haven't heard of oligarchs? I thought we were going after presidents in this room. So yeah, it's unfortunate it happened like that. Lucky Lloyd said, I still haven't had any WAP that was worth $1 million. Listen, you and I both, man. Much less that Jeff Bezos $1 billion plus he gave to his wife for $100 million or whatever. Sergeant Crypto said, oh, he's laughing because I said something about grabbing and smelling hair. I only talk about facts. You all know that here. So if I seen it in video or if I heard it and saw it in person, and I'm going to repeat it, those are straight facts right here. S1 Dub said they have been after the Overstock CEO for years. I hope he has a private security detail. Now, again, that is where I will add it at. Now, you all know me. I joked around this story. Definitely wanted to make this story entertaining, as we like to do with the news here. But yeah, the real deal in this, which is why I ended the story saying I do want to hear his side of the story, is that they have been after him. You got to remember, Overstock, huge company, offering Bitcoin early before anyone even really knew what it was, right? And much less before the government and regulators were okay with it. And then it proliferated. Overstock's now touting out in 2017, hey, guys, we're still offering Bitcoin, or you can still buy things in Bitcoin, right? You can still use Bitcoin on our website. A big company is doing that. We know in 2017, government regulators, as well as big conglomerate companies and institutions and all the old school interests like the Jamie Dino Diamonds of the world, we're calling Bitcoin fake. We're trying to get anyone involved in Bitcoin up out of here, right? And Overstock, I think, was a part of that plan where they're like, you're a big company, there's a lot of eyes on you, and you're over here accepting Bitcoin. We cannot have that right now. So I do think, in general, when it came up that, hey, this chick might be expired, we can at least make it look like she expired, true or false, I don't know. And you over here still talking that Bitcoin nonsense? Like, nope, time to get you up out of here. Whether true or not, that's what happened. So, yeah, I can't wait to, again, hear if he comes out and says something. Gladden TV, what's going on? Gladden says, smack. I know you're talking about that smack DVD. Listen, it's crazy. Volume 5 of the Senate Intelligence Committees, what is they calling it? It's a Russian interference in the 2016 election, people. That don't sound like a new mixtape. I don't know what it is. All right, last couple of quick stories. Game show winner loses $39,000 in Bitcoin. Facebook scam. Listen, I understand. It hurts. I get it. Looks like former winner of the game show Deal or No Deal, that was actually a good show, has been scammed out of his retirement savings after investing in Bitcoin through an ad on Facebook. According to a Daily Record report on Tuesday, Scottish retiree Graham Gyrich, I think that's how you pronounce it, was defrauded $39,400 by a phony investment company. Now, I'm not trying to clown or be funny here, but I am trying to say if you know some spots in Scotland where I can retire for $40,000 and live comfortably, please send those over to me. It looks like the former railway worker who appeared on Deal or No Deal in 2007 clicked on a Facebook ad from a company called OMC Markets. It looks like they claimed they were a London-based company, but they're actually based in Bulgaria, or they were in London, but are actually based in Bulgaria, according to a report. He deposited $38,090 into a Bitcoin wallet and signed a waiver denying him access to his funds for 6 months. The scammers also convinced him to give him access to his bank account. I mean, these are some big red flags. If there's a Bitcoin investment and they want you to actually deny giving you access to anything, or actually get your personal bank account, that's a huge red flag right there, people. They're like, yeah, let me get your Bitcoin address in your personal bank account. That way I can do, I can make moves back and forth, which is essentially what they told him. It looks like after doubling his money, he tried to pull out his funds, but he was told he needed to pay a further $7,880 in fees. And again, this is all happening in euros. We're, as the article says, we're transferring this over to dollars. And then shortly after, all his funds were completely drained, and OMC Markets ignored his email request demanding for explanation. Of course, Garrett went to go seek help, and he's being quoted as saying Facebook needs to do more, and also, quote, you cry inside. Now, the you cry inside part, anyone who's been scammed in crypto, we can all agree with you. You definitely do cry inside. But like us all, I mean, welcome to the bunch. This is how you get your official tag to get in and out of the building. Sometimes is being scammed. It's the lesson we all say, that sometimes you got to pay for that expensive lesson in crypto, and it looks like his lesson, unfortunately, was a $40,000 lesson. I'm also I guess technically from the economist's point of view, it will almost be a $80,000 lesson, since he said they did double his money. He just didn't see any of that back. So unfortunate to see, but again, we're always talking about these scams, so you can kind of pay attention to them and make sure it's not happening to you. So if anybody's asking you again for crypto on any of these social media sites, no, more or less is not the real deal. And if someone was that good at making you money with crypto, like us here at the Gym Into Crypto, you would have found them. You don't have to go looking. You don't have to click on these ads and stuff. Like, the better people in the space, just do some 10 to 15 minutes looking around, and you'll probably land on some of their work. All right, last But certainly not least for the day, Binance in Ukraine captures cyber criminals laundering $42 million. That's right. I didn't even know this was going on. I wanted to point this story out because, again, we like to talk about self-regulation here. We don't always just, blindly bash the government or critique the government or the regulators out here with no plan in sight. We're not the people saying, get rid of all this, get rid of all this. And it's like, well, what are you going to do next? I don't know. We just need to get rid of it. We're not those people here, right? We're talking about getting rid of something or changing something or doing something different. We also have those solutions in place. And again, one of the solutions we always talk about when it comes to regulating the crypto market is self-regulation. We feel like we don't need government influence, regulator influence, and help when it comes to regulations because, for one, the market's transparent enough. Old-fashioned police work, you can look up Bitcoin addresses and figure out who they belong to. So if you have the entire world looking at Bitcoin addresses and looking at the Bitcoin network, then again, it's a little bit different when you're talking about self-regulation, that amount of transparency than what you would if you were talking about some type of private company where you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, right? Here you do. It looks like the world's largest exchange keeps deepening its cooperation with law enforcement. That was actually a hilarious title, especially after what I just said, knowing that a lot of people in the crypto space do not like this. But it looks like Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, is collaborating with law enforcement authorities in Ukraine to take down some large-scale money laundering schemes. And again, I will say that this is not a slippery slope. You know the dangers of leaving your money on exchange. The exchange owns that money, and with them owning your money, then okay. Especially what we know now in 2020 about exchanges, like yes, they are cooperating with the government and police and stuff. I think this is okay. If it's some money laundering going on the exchange, and the exchanges know that this is only going to bring heat to them, this is going to bring more FBI attention to them, this is going to bring the SEC, this is going to bring police and federal heat that they don't want. I think is a good thing and a great idea that these exchanges are openly saying, no, we don't want money launderers over here. We don't want criminals on our platforms. And here you go, police, take them away. So already, whenever you hear police, come back and cry out that, hey, we can't trace Bitcoin and all this, we know this is a lie, especially when exchanges are working with the police, as we see here. It looks like working with the exchange, Ukraine's cyber police identified and arrested a group of criminals involved in a $42 million ransomware and money laundering operation. Binance told Cointelegraph in a criminal investigation report on August 18. Shout out to Binance and Ukraine cyber police. Again, this $42 million ransomware ring right here, this could have been, $39,000 of the last guy's story we read who lost his money on Facebook, right? This could have been some of his money. So I'm glad to see these money laundering and ransomware operations shut down. Ransomware has been a terrible thing since 2016. At this point, I think hitting over 120,000 businesses worldwide. So crazy that that's been going on to that point and to that extent. That's probably a conservative number because those were the numbers back in 2017. Again, it looks like according to a report, this criminal group had been laundering millions of dollars in cryptocurrencies since 2018. A Binance representative said that the suspects were all Ukraine nationals and were arrested in June 2020. Again, shout out to Binance for this. Look at that, $42 million, 2 years of laundering money on crypto and doing scams, and then finally being caught here a few months ago. Again, this group primarily operated in Ukraine, but was also involved in several cyber attacks on a global scale, as it says. So this investigation was a part of Binance's so-called bulletproof exchanges. This is the part at the beginning I said I didn't even know they had this. I think this is really cool. Again, this investigation is a part of Binance's so-called bulletproof exchangers project that aims to track down transactions between Binance and high-risk entities. Investigations of this kind are primarily conducted by Binance's internal risk intelligence unit, known as Binance Sentry, as well as the analytics arm, the Security Data Science Division. Again, I think this is big news. And even on a global and grander scale, I think this is the future, people. This is something in my private life I always talk about. I want to own a piece of a security company. And this is why. I think we'll get to the point where, especially in cryptocurrency, once we get to the point where you're seeing crypto multi-billionaires, I'm talking about Jeff Bezos, I got 300 billion from crypto, 400 billion. Or as we said, we think cryptocurrency will allow for the first group of trillionaires to walk the earth. If we see people become trillionaires from crypto, from Bitcoin alike, then you will begin to see people basically form their own nations and empires. You're going to see people starting to say, oh, I can just hire my own security team. Oh, I can just do this myself. Oh, we can just move to this island and have our operations here, right? You will start to see that more. So I thought it was pretty cool to see Binance already has something like it. They already have their own internal intelligence unit. They already are using another it looks like cybersecurity analytics firm. So they're already building up their own kind of empire as far as being able to go find the cronies when they need to, being able to go find the bad guys when they need to. You see, they actually did that here with their project. And again, I think this is going to be the future. I think every exchange is going to have some type of internal team that's used to track these high-risk entities. And for those who don't know, high-risk entities on exchanges are basically anyone with a certain volume of trades or a certain amount of money in their wallets. Once you exceed a certain point, you're one of those high-risk things. And not even high risk in a bad way. High risk in a way of, if we lose this customer, what would it do to our business? What would I do to our platform if we lose 10 customers like this? Well, if you have a customer who's doing, it looks to be almost $42 million in transactions on your platform in 2 years, then that's a high-risk person, not just because they're a bad guy, but because it's like, yo, we got a customer who doing 42 mil in 2 years. I want to know who this person is. I want to send them a box of chocolate, some flowers. You need a massage. How can we make sure your life is better, right? You want to do that to these people. It just so happens that this person that they did their due diligence on to figure out who they're going to work with turned out to be a criminal. And Binance did their job by turning them in. Again, people, this is what you call self-regulation. You didn't need a regulator to put some new law in there. You didn't need some 1800 legal tests to figure out what could be done right or wrong. No, it's the exchange seeing weird stuff happening on it and them calling the police saying, hey, some people from your country, it look like they into some criminal stuff, take care of it. That is self-regulation. We don't need all these other mechanisms the government's trying to say we do need to protect us. So something to think about. Let's see. Sergeant Crypto says School of Hard Knocks, talking about scams in general. I know, right? It's actually more expensive than going to school sometimes. S1 Dubs here. Let me exit out of this article as I close up. S1 Dubs, nothing you can do about people falling for scams. Looks like all types of scams are starting to ramp up in the U.S., probably due to the hardship people are starting to experience. I mean, yeah, you talk about hardship from the pandemic, and then you talk about the actual burgeoning market again. People have actual interest in Bitcoin again. I mean, it is ripe for scam, and that's one of the reasons we started to show off with, is this the short-term top already, right? Scams are back. You got Barstool Sports guys out here shucking and shilling coins. Is $12,000 the top? Will we drop back down to $7,000 to $8,000 range here in the next few weeks? It remains to be seen. Let's see. PFC Wells said what he can really say is he signed paperwork. Talking about the scammer for sure. Cornelius Broadknox, same thing about the guy who got scammed. One transaction, charge it to the gang. You have no choice but to do it because you're not going to get it back. PFC Wells said Ukraine has a lot of legit stuff going on too, but the whole Eastern Europe is crazy with ingenuity. Yeah, I agree with you. Eastern Europe, when it comes to crypto, they do have a lot going on. Mining, the rules are really relaxed. But I will say, and I've heard this from some other people, so I wonder if this is actually, or some of the people are part of the same group. I know some people in Ukraine and Romania that's involved in crypto and some other things. I know they get a lot of money in a short amount of time. So I almost wonder, and when I heard about them the first time, I was kind of questioning, like, people were like, hey, you want to get involved with the crew? I was like, no, I'm good to go over here. What are we doing? But it is one of those questions where, I kind of want to check back on these groups. There are a lot of young people, and they were making a lot of money in crypto very fast. So it's like, I wonder, they said they got a whole crew of people in Ukraine. I want to know who's involved. I want to know if we know anybody. Also, shout out to Steven up north in Toronto. Thanks for the email. I still remember you, Steven. Hope all is well. He wanted to give us a shout out. He sent us a private email basically thanking us for a pick that we picked, best altcoins we buy. We selected a pick. I think he said he bought it at like 63 cents a couple years ago, and today that price is well beyond 63 cents. So he sent us a random email. I want to give you a shout out. Want to say glad to see that investment paid off, and then hey, you can do something with it here in 2020 as the pandemic goes on. You don't have to worry so much, right? Other than that, as always, Thanks for watching, people. Thanks for the continued support. Make sure you smash that like and share. And I will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news. Cheers.